How do we like the dress? Nobody?
You'll have a good one.
Thanks.
Thanks, Andy.
Come to the Highland games tomorrow in Salino.
I'll be at Baylor. Well,
What? What did he say? Okay, are you going to control it?
yeah.
Okay, I'll just hold it because in case you need to.
Because we'll have to fire off. The playoffs have arrived, meaning every single game is win or go home. Welcome into the Bi-District edition of Friday Night Lights. I'm Curtis Quillen.
And I'm Nikki Latarullo. Our game of the week is a playoff rematch where one side is hoping to flip the script.
Last year in the first round, Bosqueville beat Marlin 72-8 in one of the biggest mismatches we saw all season.
This year, Bosqueville is much younger, and a change in coaches at Marlin has sparked the Bulldogs as they enter the game 7-3, with their biggest loss being 8 points at Lexington in week 4.
So the computers have this as a 1-point game as we approach kickoff tonight in Robinson, and Marlin goes for its first playoff win since 2015. Bosqueville again beat them in this game last year. At the half, it's 26-7 Marlin, but Clint Zander's Bosqueville squad came out hot in the third. Hunter Hennickson takes this one right up the gut. That's the first on the first drive. That's 6. Bosqueville has some life, but on the ensuing kickoff, Marlin takes all of the air out of their tires. Zamarion Lofton, the former Gridiron Player of the Week, here gets the punt return touchdown. How about a kick return? He takes it to the house. It's 32-13. Next, Bosqueville drive. 4th down pass is deflected. It's turnover on downs. Marlin back with the ball. They're charging toward the end zone. Desmond Woodson dumps it off. Trajan Butler comes close. No one comes close to him. Marlin goes up 40-13. Nothing but smiles on that sideline from that man, Ruben Torres. 54-20 is your final. Matt Lively, 3rd week in a row, he's got front row tickets, and he's there with the victorious Marlin Bulldogs. Big time win.
Marlin's been looking for a playoff win since November 2015. In our Bi-District game of the week, the Marlin Bulldogs finally got one. Yeah, they're amped up. I'm here with head coach Ruben Torres, a 54-20 win over Bosqueville. We're talking before the game. These guys have been through a lot over the last 2 years, especially this last year. What's this mean to finally get a playoff win?
It's huge. It's huge for them. It's huge for our community, the city of Marlin, all our fans that came out tonight. So it couldn't be any more pleased than to give them something that they've worked really hard for.
Something you and I have talked about over the last week is how good your offense is, how many skill players you have. You put up 54 points on a really good defense. How does that make you feel moving into the rest of the playoffs?
Well, you know, we need momentum, and so we've carried that momentum the last 5 weeks, and we'll take it into the next round and hopefully just keep building on it. But we did a good job of getting guys moved around, a lot of formations, motions and stuff, and they did a great job of beating the man coverage.
Not winning a playoff game since 2015, you get one tonight. Maybe the Marlin name has been synonymous with, they're not going to do much in the playoffs. What can you say about this squad now?
Well, we had a meeting a couple weeks ago, and we talked about change, that we're going to make a change here, and we're going to put Marlin back where they belong. And the kids bought in, and you saw it tonight on the field last couple weeks, where they just determined to go out there and win, and they believe in themselves, we believe in them, and we're going to keep rolling.
Believe they did, believe they won. Zamarion Lofton, former Player of the Week here for 6 News. You were all over the field tonight. I saw myself an interception, a kickoff return. You just have a knack for finding the ball. How is that?
It's good. I like with the ball in my hands, you know. No, I don't feel like nobody can really stop me. So then I just put it up for 6.
Step one, I want to make sure you get on camera. We got to get you your show time. When you see these guys behind you, everybody, you got so many playmakers. Is there any doubt when you're on the field that you guys aren't going to score points?
No, I believe in them 100%. QB1 right here. I believe he's going to put it in our hands, and we're going to take it to the crib.
Yeah, and we got a story coming on him later in the show, our future Player of the Week from last week. Last question, man. You guys are going into the second round. As I was asking Coach, maybe the Marlin name has sort of been tarnished over the last few years, but you were telling me a few weeks ago that you feel like this is a new rebuild, that you guys are the new start of Marlin. How proud are you that you guys finally get this playoff win and it's your group of guys that did it?
I'm very proud. This is a new team. We ain't the same old Marlin. We come with something different, and we're trying to go all the way.
All right, Marlin Bulldogs, 54-20, our game of the week. Winners will send it back to Nikki and Curtis.
You know, first time that you win a playoff game in 6 years, you're bound to celebrate. That's exactly what these dogs are doing tonight. We'll check in with Matt in a bit. Now, if you take the regional favorite out in 2A Division I Region 3, that's Timpson. If you take them out of the equation, 2A Division I Region 3, wide open this year. Of course, though, Timpson still exists.
One team hoping to exploit just how many other contenders there are is Thorndale. The Bulldogs facing Alto in the first round tonight at Mejia. Alto quarterback Keegan Davis, he puts it up in the air, but it's tipped by Thorndale striker LeShiber, who is then gets the ball and comes down with it. So now Thorndale ball. Coy Stutz throws a long pass to Clayson Beasley, and that is in there for a first down.
Nice play.
Next play, the handoff to Lou Scheiber, who carries both teams into the 1 yard line. Look how strong he is. Yep, he's
Looks
down
like
on the
Abram
one.
Smith.
That's like a big guy. And then next play, they will run it in for the touchdown. And Thorndale goes on to win this one 28-21. So they're rolling.
They are. Rosebud Lot snuck into the playoffs last week, facing Centerville tonight out in Bremond. First quarter, Cougars driving. The snap is low. Zane Zeinert runs back, gets it, rolls right, fires deep down the sideline, but it's picked off. That's a pick on Saturdays, too. The Tigers would take over and have to punt. Next Cougar drive. Zeinert in the gun, looking left, fires over the middle. It's caught. Jamarcus Johnson picks up 25 yards. Cougs knocking on the door. Same drive. Moses Fox takes the handoff, goes right up the middle for 15 yards and an easy touchdown. Rosebud Lot up 7-0. Ensuing kickoff. And you know we don't show you special teams for no reason. Andrew Newman fields the return inside the 20, starts up the middle, cuts to his right, gets to the sideline, gets wrapped up, and that's it, right? No! He gets out of the tackle and is gone. Turns on the Jets. Reservations for 6. We are tied at 7 at that point, and then it's all Centerville after that. 34-7 is your final.
That's some Tristan Ebner right there. Well, last night in Crawford, opening their playoff run against Dawson and Hewitt. Early second quarter, Pirates up 24-0. Luke Torbert pitches to Cameron Walker, and he'll do the rest from there using his legs. 50-plus yards to the house, from the logo to the end zone, and that puts Crawford up 31-0. Little while later, Torbert to Walker again, this time in the air. He'll show off his speed again until he's brought down just outside the 10. Next play, Torbert flips it to Brady Ward, and he'll run it in for the score. Pirates up big 38-6, and they would go on to win this one by a big score, 59-12, and they are rolling into the next round of the playoffs.
They play with a lot of heart. They play with a lot of class. They really care about each other. And so, you know, as we progress through this year, you know, we've gotten better and better each week. Are we where we want to be? No, not yet, but we're working to get that way.
The Pirates will play Celeste in the area round next week.
Other 2A first-round scores this week. Goldthwaite gets a falls to Forsan, 22-15. Hawley all over San Saba, 56-9.
And Holland rolls over Leon, 40-7. Mart, of course, 84-6.
Over Clarksville, and then of course that game was called early because of a gas leak in Eustis. You see this tweet from Mart ISD. 7 miles away from the school there in Eustis, all school vehicles, passengers were forced to evacuate the town. And so because of the lopsided score at the time, Mart is moving on. Those details will be figured out soon. Moving on in the scores, Chilton all over Sims Bowie, and Bremond takes down Quinlan Bowles. All right, we are just getting things started on the season finale of Friday Night Lights. Do not go away.
We're talking 6A playoff football next. Keep it here.
One of the most loaded regions in the UIL playoffs this year is 6A Division II Region 2. Among the teams there, the Temple Wildcats.
Last year, the Wildcats won a playoff game for the first time since moving back to the state's largest classification. Now they're hoping to make a run again.
Temple once again hosting Waxahachie in tonight's bi-district affair. A slow start in this one, though, for the Wildcats, actually, regardless. So, scoreless at the end of the first quarter. Indian starting quarterback out with an injury, so they go to the Wildcats, straight to Jashawn Wofford. He does the rest, a huge first down, ball in the red zone just like that. Started the second quarter, first play of the frame. Wofford, again, he's easily in for the game's first score. Point after makes it 7-0 Hatchie. But that lead would last for exactly one kickoff. Temple answers right back. Devin Williams, he fields it here at the 25. He breaks off to the middle, cuts back to his left, and those jets you see, yeah, that's just him running it into the end zone. Ladies and gentlemen, we're tied at 7. Under 2 minutes to play in the half. We are still tied at 7. Temple going for it on 4th and 1. And on the second effort, the all-time leading scorer for the Temple Wildcats, Samari Howard, picks up the first down, and the Wildcats would take the lead into the half when quarterback Michael Harrison Pilot finds a hole that you could drive a truck through. And the secondary might have brought him down, but not before the score. 14-7 at the half. Wildcats win a close one, 28-14. Parker Heights enters last night's first-round showdown with DeSoto with its best record in 20 years, about at 9-1. Opening drive, Matt Allen with time in the pocket finds Jonte Cook the second. Beautiful pass, hits him in stride, 7-0 Eagles. Ensuing Heights drive, handoff to Rayshawn Sanford. He breaks out to his left, gets to the sideline, and he is gone. He picks up about 40 yards, and the Knights are knocking on the door. A few plays later, Sanford in the Wildcat right up the gut. We're tied at 7, but all DeSoto from there. 14-7 Eagles at this point in the first when Allen looks, rolls right, finally finds something he likes in Jaden Treywick for the score. 21-7 at that point. Still in the first, early second, Christopher Henley the second, 6 inches, 65-28 is your final. Heights season ends at 9-2.
And Live Oak entered the year as a favorite to win a state championship in TAP 6-man Division II.
The Falcons are 10-0, looking to keep rolling to that state title game at Midway next month.
The Falcons hosting Austin Hill Country in the shadows of the silos tonight. A packed house early first quarter. Ethan Howard passes over the middle and hits Sam Williams for the score, and Hill Country goes up 24-16. Next Austin possession, the handoff to Howard, and he'll plow his way in there for the touchdown. And now the lead is 36-16. But here come the Falcons. Eli Herman runs it all the way in there for the first down, so they're not too worried here. The ball comes loose, but they pick it up. And the next play, it's Carter check in there for the touchdown. And that is a 2-point game, 32-30. And they would go on to win it 78-64. Slow start, but not to worry. They're rolling, and they're going to play a team that almost beat them next week.
All right. I know that this is ostensibly a football show, but we're going to take a break from football for a second because tonight, the Baylor men's basketball team opened its season against the University of the Incarnate Word. That's my brother's alma mater out of San Antonio. Before tip, the Bears received their rings, unveiled the program's first title banner inside the Farrell Center. The Bears then proceeded to beat the Cardinals 87-60. They host Nichols Monday at 11 a.m. Nikki, you were there. How cool was that to see?
It was really cool. It was really loud, and the student section was packed. I haven't seen that since 2019, so that was really exciting. And the banner's super nice. If you have time to go to a game this season, you definitely want to see it.
Our assistant news director was there, and he volunteered to shoot it, but the great
But of course, I am the intrepid. I had to be there. I'm all over.
All right, don't go anywhere. We've got plenty more ahead on Friday Night Lights. We'll go back to our game of the week next, but
before we go to break, listen to this week's Battle of the Bands winner, the Grossbeck Goats Band. We'll be right back.
All right, real quick, let's go back to Robinson in our game of the week. Check in with Matt Lively. Matt, big time win for Marlin tonight.
Huge win, Curtis, 54-20 over Bosqueville. Coming into this game, we had said it over and over again that the Marlin Bulldogs had not won a playoff game since November 2015. This was huge. When you think about all the things that happened to the Marlin community over the last year, go back to the winter storm, the roads, the water, the fact that this team lost 72-8 going back even further in last year's playoff to Bosqueville. They had to overcome a lot of odds just to be here, and they got the job done. You have to credit Ruben Torres. His first year here at Marlin has completely revitalized this program. And now as they go to play Lindsay next week, location has not been determined for that game yet. I have a lot of confidence in this Marlin team. Watching them with my eyes for the first time, I've seen them in practice, but to see game time action with these guys, see how quick they are and how many skill players they have, very impressed with this win tonight. I think Marlin is a team that we're going to be covering for at least a few more weeks, and it's going to be very exciting. Could be some Baylor guys on this team, so we'll keep an eye out for that.
That's true.
Guys?
Kind of the dark horse there in Region 2. We'll check in with you here in a second. We are far from done with Friday Night Lights. That's the end of the NBC portion.
Yes.
Live streams next. Check us out.
Stay with us.
The playoffs are here, and that means it's do or die every time toe meets leather. Welcome into a playoff edition of Friday Night Lights. We're on the live stream portion. I'm your traffic cop, Curtis Quillen, alongside Nikki Latarullo. We'll hear from Matt Lively in just a second. Nikki, there are few things that I love more than playoff football.
We know you love playoff football. Trust me, I've been here for 3 seasons, and I know already by now he's a big high school football guy.
All right, last year, Bosqueville and Marlin faced off in the first round. It did not go well for Marlin.
Not at all.
This year, both teams very different.
Yeah, this time Marlin has guys with Big 12 offers and is a school we've seen earn Gridiron Player of the Week multiple times this season, and the computers have this one as a 1-point game.
So let's go to Robinson for the only kind of playoff football better than playoff football, revenge playoff football.
Oh my God.
At the half, it's 26-7 Marlin, but Clint Zander's Bosqueville squad came out hot and they're barking. Hunter Henningsen takes this one straight up the gut on the first drive. That's 6. Bosqueville's got some life. On the ensuing kickoff, though, that's, again, the very next play. Marlin takes all the air out of their tires. Zamarian Lofton was our player of the week this year for a punt return touchdown. So how about he adds a kick one? It's 32-13 Marlin. Next, Bosqueville drive, 4th down, pass deflected. Turnover on downs. Marlin back with the ball. They're charging toward the end zone. Desmond Woodson dumps it to Trajan Butler. Yet he's gone. That's a vapor trail behind him. 40-13 Marlin. Nothing but smiles on the Marlin Bulldog tonight for the first time in 6 years. Marlin has won a playoff game. Matt Lively was there for the whole thing. Matt, seems like Marlin owned this one from the opening kick.
From the opening kickoff, you're right about that, Curtis. They go into halftime with a big lead, and even when Bosqueville responds coming into the third quarter, that very early score by Hunter Henningsen, it did not matter because on the ensuing kickoff, it was the kickoff return by Zamarian Lofton that put this game out of hand. Hand it to Marlin, man. They just have so much talent. That's where I look at this squad and I go, I don't know who stops them. Just dominant. And even at the end of the game, they're trying to run the ball out. They're still scoring because they're just that hard to bring down. They came into this game with 4 straight wins, and I know that Vegas doesn't make these odds. Maybe they do. I'm actually not so sure. But to put Bosqueville as a 1-point favorite in this one, I was actually scratching my head. I thought Marlin should have been favored in this game, and they showed why. They win 54-20. It was not even close, and I'm excited. Next week they've got Lindsay. We don't have a location on that one yet, but regardless, I said it before we went to the digital portion, I think we're going to be covering Marlin for at least a few more weeks because they're just at this point in the season where they're hitting their stride and they're taking it up a notch. Head coach Ruben Torres told me tomorrow they'll get in, they'll do film, they'll do running, they'll do weights. Of course, they're off on Sunday, and then starting on Monday, right back to a reset. They've got Lindsay, who is another very good 2A team, but they're ready. And what I think I like most about this team, and you'll see it a little bit later in the show when we go to the player of the week, they love each other. Seriously, they are brothers off of the field, and I saw that when I was just watching them after this game. They pull out a WWE belt as if they're already in the pros. I mean, there's a lot of charisma with this team, and I think that's why I like them so much.
This is a school that has gone through so much in the 6 seasons I've been here with the TEA, with just the state takeover and everything along with that. To see them have some success, this is awesome.
A new head coach.
New head coach several times. I mean, Ruben Torres is the 4th coach that they've had since I've been covering.
They have such an athletic bunch. Like, these kids play every sport. They're good at every sport. We knew coming in they were going to be good this season, so I'm happy they are
And I know when we texted Matt in the commercial break, just to bring you guys behind the curtain, they are still working to secure a stadium for that Marlin-Lindsay game next week. But to give you some perspective, when Bosqueville played Lindsay in the second round last year, that game was in Aledo, so expected to be in the Fort Worth area. Matt will check in with you here in a few minutes. Okay, so for the 2nd year in a row, the Grosbeck Goats finished 2nd in their district, right on the heels of a struggle in 2019. But when their shot at the school's first playoff win since 1994 went awry a year ago, these Goats were mad.
Curtis. All right, well, Curtis was calculating that bad dad joke. Grosbeck has been rolling with its only 2 hiccups, coming shorthanded against Academy and to district champ Malakoff. They've never had a better shot to end the drought than this year.
So, Let's go to Waco ISD Stadium, Nikki.
The Goats facing Whitney tonight. First drive of the game. It's 4th and 2. Garrett Peacock fakes the punt and runs it for the first. Instead, looked to be a momentum gainer, and it was. Few plays later on 3rd down, a misfire falls incomplete, and the Goats force an actual punt this time around. Peacock completes to Jackson Montgomery and puts it on the ground. Fumble. The Goats take over. Now on the very next play, Allen Lewis, former player of the week, to Anthony Lewis. Biggest play of the game. It's a massive pickup, and the Goats are set up in scoring position. But then trouble. 3rd down, Lewis scrambles and trips. It's 4th down. The Wildcats need a major stop on 4th down. Lewis again, he's denied. The Wildcats take over at the 2-yard line, and Whitney wins 14-0. So tough ending for Grossbeck.
Tough ending there. 10-0 West facing Fairfield in tonight's first round showdown up in beautiful Corsicana, USA. Let's start in the first quarter. Zane Minen here hands it off to TJ McCutcheon. Bounces to the right side, gets to the outside, and he is gone. That is a touchdown run, and the Trojans are up 7-0. Not much time passes. Next drive, Minen to Wyatt Wolf, who's hit hard. Then, next play, you're going to see him go to McCutcheon again. 1 if by land, 2 if by air. So score that one, their second touchdown. 14-0 West, 55-7. The Trojans all over Fairfield.
The Trojans are so good this year.
Let's start with Cameron in Hallettsville. Let's start with the bad guys last night in Brenham. Trace Paytek keeps it himself from 8 yards out, finds the end zone, and the Brahmas take an early 7-zip lead. 14-0 now as we continue the action. Here come the Yeomen. Ryan Munoz airs one up. Pharrell Hemphill. You cannot draw it up any better than that. And trust me when I say those two had a ball game last night. Later in the quarter, Muniz looking Hemphill's way again, because if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. And he fires it to the back of the end zone. That's a touchdown on Sundays. Count it for 6. We're tied at 14. How about a hat trick for Hemphill? Trick play, gets Yo into the red zone. Muniz finds his favorite target again. Somebody signed the kid. He's special. Ties it to 21, but it does not go Cameron's way from there. Hallettsville comes from behind in the second half, wins a close one. The reigning state runners up only beat Cameron by 4.
I say we watch them for next season.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be really good. All right, well, the China Spring Cougars are also very good. They're 10-0 entering the playoffs with a revenge game against Carthage circled in 2 weeks.
These Cougars don't just score seemingly at will, but this is a defense that stands on its head week in and week out.
The Cougars opening their playoff run tonight against Madisonville in Bryan. Madisonville ball first. Jamal Holland is off to the races. He will get the first down and then some before being brought down by none other than Braden Faulkner. But Madisonville couldn't turn that drive into points. How about the Mustangs defense putting in works? Major Boundin handed it off, but he was then stopped and brought down. So they're holding their own out here. But then he's going to, here we go, Major Bowden. He's going to pitch it to his teammate. Nope, maybe not. He's going to take it himself this time.
That's what
Major
Trey
Bowden,
Hafford
we know
does.
he can do that. So he'll run that one into the end zone, and he will take it for the score. Madisonville gets on the board in the second, but it's too little, too late. Mustangs fall to China Spring. China Spring puts up a 50 spot, 50-7 the final.
In a game that it struggled in.
Struggled, quote, air quotes I'm doing, you can't see me. All right, last night, Mejia back in the postseason facing one of this year's state title favorites, Gilmer. All right, here we go, we gotta see them run out. They're gonna face Gilmer, who probably will be in the state championship this year. On the very first drive of the game, Gilmer puts the ball in the hands of their big bruising back, Ashton Hayes. He'll break a few tackles and rumble down inside the Cat red zone. And he will be on the goal line in this next one, and they'll go back to the big back. 19th touchdown of the year.
That's a lot.
He's obviously good. And it's 6-0 Gilmer. Mejia on the very next play, they're trying to go for the home run, and Trey Bett's pass is picked off by the free safety, and it's the senior Landon Watson. So they have the ball back. Things aren't going good for Mejia, just a blink of an eye. They'd waste no time getting back into the end zone. Check out this speed sweep. It's the freshman Cade Tennyson, and it's a foot race into the pylon. Touchdown Buckeyes. They go up 2 scores early in the first, and Mejia would have their best drive of the quarter here, though. and they will run it as far as they can, but unfortunately for Mejia, it's not good. It's 4th down, and they got it 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. And will they get the touchdown here? No.
That's a really good defense.
The ball just is deflected, and this team is really good.
You see where this is
Yeah,
headed.
we don't even need to. You understand what happened here. It was 71-14.
There's a reason
Gilmer. So Gilmer might be the one to beat in 4A.
In 4AD too.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah. That's that whole left side of the bracket. That's probably what's
Like, good luck, Carthage, Gilmer. We got a lot going on.
But we'll talk more about that in a second. But now it's time for our favorite segment in the show, our Gridiron Player of the Week, where we highlight one of the most outstanding performances in the week. And why not stay at our Game of the Week, right, Matt?
Perfect place.
You guys, if we learned anything tonight, it's that this Marlin team is special. They are loaded with talent on the offensive side of the ball, but the skill that you see on the field exudes off of it in the relationships that they've built.
It's been good. Like, as soon as I moved here, like, they took me in like as a brother, you know, and I learned them real quick, so we just clicked ever since then.
Junior QB Desmond Woodson did one of the hardest things a high schooler can do. He moved, but it hasn't been all that tough for him.
It's fun, and then having them around just take me as a brother when I moved here, like, it's been nothing but fun since I moved here.
That fun has been evident. Last week, he threw for 231 yards and 5 scores while rushing for another 55 yards and a touchdown. Everyone has been jumping in on the fun.
It's amazing. Like, we can help him out, and he can help us out at the same time. We got multiple people to help us out and contribute to the team.
Woodson's contributions can be linked back to Everman, Texas, where he moved from. That's just an hour away from Allen High School, home to his NFL inspiration.
Kyler Murray, just everything. Like, he throw, he run, everything.
Like Murray, Woodson can use his legs. It's something head coach Ruben Torres says took him a while to grasp, but now he's sprinting with the new style.
A couple weeks ago, and he started running, and he got his first little touchdown. I think his confidence grew. And so it's a new dynamic, and I think any coach will tell you that when you got to defend a dual-threat quarterback, it makes for a long weekend.
For the moment, those weekends start on Friday. Woodson dreams of playing on Saturdays, but the focus at hand is just winning in the playoffs. He only knows one way to do that.
Just be me, you know, play football, you know, trust my reads, trust my O-line, you know, just win.
Those college offers are certainly coming for Woodson. Head coach Ruben Torres says right now he hasn't been coming into the office asking coach, where are they? Where are they? But he is assuring him that they will come. His teammate Darian Gillette, I mentioned it in pregame. He's got offers from Baylor, TCU, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, and UT. And those guys, those scouts are going to come around for Darian, but I'm sure they're going to see Desmond and Zamarion and Trajan. And the list goes on and on and on for the Marlin Bulldogs.
And just insert name here.
They'll see everybody. That team is good.
It's amazing what some coaching will do, and we talked about this week. The stuff David Hayes inherited and got it to a point Ruben Torres takes over. These guys are getting Power 5 offers. Matt, we are not done with you yet.
No.
Great job on Player of the Week. For now, let's go and finish up some area scores. We start with Duncanville over Belton tonight, 63-7. La Vega all over Fort Worth Western Hills last night, 65-6.
Lampasas falls to Pleasanton, 28-27. That's a tough one. And Carthage blanks Gatesville 35-0.
Look, I know it's a blank, but that Carthage team has hit 60 or 70 points several times this year. Good job there from Gatesville. Jasper breaks Connolly's heart, 23-20 last night. Salado edges Rusk, 49-42.
And Grandview puts up 49 against Teague. They lose 49-7. And Yoakum falls to Academy 28-22.
How about them Bees? Lorena all over Hitchcock last night, 53-28. Rockdale falls to Columbus tonight, 42-21.
And Riesel wins over Van Vleck 21-12. And Tidehaven beats Rogers 42-29.
Those are two upsets involving the same district. Abbott 45s. Yeah, exactly 45s Avalon, 67-22. And Jonesboro 45s Lakeview last night, 90-40.
That's crazy. Fort Worth Temple Christian loses to Bishop Riker 47-6. So Riker's going to the playoffs. And CTCS beats Weatherford Christian 35-14.
Back-to-back years of winning in the playoffs, not bad for CTCS. Lucas
bad.
Christian knocks out Vanguard tonight 69-22. And we do know that Holy Trinity won. It was, I believe the final score was 62-54?
Well, they won.
64-52.
They won.
They
So that's
won.
good.
All right, and we do need to make one correction. Salado, in texting for playoff information, this is Rusk. We had that score backwards. Rusk knocked off Salado tonight, 49-42. So the Eagles season ends. It is the first time in the Allen Hare era that the Eagles have made the playoffs and lost in the first round.
That is very shocking to me. So this was a good Salado team.
This was a good Salado
But that's
team.
a hard 4A Division 2 is tough.
Region 3 is bonkers, and you know what's even more bonkers? Some of these results tonight. So you know what it's time for? Let's do a big picture breakdown. Let's go back to Robinson. Let's bring Matt Lively back into the fold. And guys, I want to ask, most shocking result of the night, and why is it Rogers losing?
Well, do you want me to go first?
Sure.
I think it's shocking that Rogers lost, but I'm also shocked that Salado lost.
Yeah.
I was not like, you just gave me that information and I'm still trying to process it. But Rogers was a good team this year. I didn't think that they were going to make it far. I saw them in person and I thought they were too inconsistent.
Fair enough.
Matt.
I never saw Rogers, so I guess it's not that surprising to me. I have seen Salado. I did not think Salado was going to lose in round one.
I didn't either.
Listening back to that and hearing you make the correction, I'm shocked that the
me too,
Salado
I'm, like,
team is out.
stunned.
When you think about how good their district is,
The first
Man, it's a
5
bummer.
years of the Allen Hare
is.
era, they missed the playoffs once, and they were 12 minutes from getting in that year. But the other 4 times that they made it in those first 5 years,
Lost
they
to
won at
Carthage.
least one game in the playoffs. Even when they were, I think, a 4 seed in 2019, they advanced into the second round. So this is a shocking result.
Yes.
But guys, Rusk this year, this is the team that forced Carthage into 7 turnovers in a district game.
I thought Salado and China Spring were like our two strong
Yeah, so
teams.
we've got...
Now we got Academy, right? They're 4A?
Yeah. No,
this is
Academy's 3A.
3A.
Okay, so
They
thoughts
seem
on
like a team.
Academy. It's been a while. I'd have to get the exact
You know,
year.
last season I was like high on Academy.
You were.
Like I thought they were really good, and because now, so who's the quarterback now? Colin Mraz they have like similar
I
names.
think it's
the
Casey.
brother.
Yeah.
Casey. So Colin, the older brother, I thought was so good, and he was always underestimated. Remember, he was our player of the week, had 5 touchdowns.
Yep.
And now that his younger brother, I think he's like a sophomore,
Yeah, they're young.
and they're pulling out the wins. So we're not going to underestimate them.
Matt, you've seen this Academy team in person. They're super young, but they're super physical. Thoughts on their win over Yoakum tonight?
2 words. Stank
Yeah.
yeah.
I knew you were going to
Come
say
on
it.
now.
That's my
this
fault,
Academy
everyone.
team, they're physical, they're young, they're deep in the trenches. That's what makes them so fun to watch. So I have no surprise. I was just looking on my phone at some of the other scores. West gets the win.
Yes.
I feel like every time we talk about Academy, we
like
also talk
West.
about West. So
Yep.
West ran away with a game tonight, which was fun to see.
Temple. They
Temple-
won a lot
Temple
of
wins
people.
a close one.
A lot of people were saying to me, watch out for Waxahachie. They're really good. Temple doesn't play in a district that's as tough as what Waxahachie plays in, so you don't know. And I was like, I think Temple's going to win, but it was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
I knew this one was going to be a little bit closer because, guys, Hatchie's been playing some of its best football the past few weeks, blew through the Mansfield schools. I mean, the teams it lost to in that district were the 3 you would expect. And they kind of, I mean, their closest game was their district opener against Midway on the road. And so this is that Waxahachie team that was just kind of inching its way
They were
forward.
waiting, yeah.
And I mean, quarterback goes down, no problem. They just run the Wildcat because they're a running team anyway. They're like Baylor in that regard.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Temple probably gets Rockwall Heath next
And
week.
that's who they lost to last year.
That's who they
in
lost
the
to
second
last year.
round.
And don't get me wrong. If I was going to equate Rockwall Heath to somebody, I would say that it's more like Oklahoma. When it comes
Okay.
to tackling, it's more like a laissez-faire approach, and okay, we're going to
Okay.
try. But
They
their
could beat
offense
them.
is a fireworks factory, and it's going to be the best
Yeah.
offense that
Temple
has seen all
Yeah.
season.
I think Temple has to just do what they've been doing, but I think they need to get off to a faster start because this team has been like kind of relying on comebacks against good teams. Like they start slow today. They started slow against Harker Heights. I feel like that was the only other really tough team they played.
And you can't start
You
slow
can't
against
start
Rockwall Heath.
any team in the playoff. You can.
No.
So it'll be interesting. They
So-
could do it, but
So
tough.
as we keep going, I want to ask both of you. We've only got about 3.5 minutes left, and I do want to get back to Baylor Bicel before tomorrow's game. So real quick, after tonight's results, your dark horse. We cannot use Marlin, and we cannot use West, and we cannot use Academy because we've already talked about those teams. Your dark horse to make a run.
Matt, go. I need to think about it.
I'm thinking, and I'm going through some of the teams that I've
Oh,
heard
I
you
know who I'm
guys
gonna
throw
say.
out there.
I think Nikki and I are going to say the same team.
Are we?
I mean, it's not a.
Was it the game you were at last night?
no.
I'm going with Crawford. And the
Okay.
reason I'm going with Crawford was this team lost a lot of seniors from last year,
Yep.
but it has not lost a step.
Hasn't
it picked
faltered.
up right where it
No.
left off.
I was going to say Lorena.
I like that.
I think Lorena's a lot better. They haven't done anything like explosive that we're like, OMG, amazing.
Right.
But they're good.
That's true. All right, Matt.
I know, I said OMG.
I don't know. I don't know if I have a dark. I don't know if dark horse is the right word to describe it because at this point, I wouldn't be surprised at any of the teams that we've covered making a deep run. So I don't know if I would say there is a dark horse per se.
There's not really.
Honestly, and I you said I can't say them, but Marlin makes
Fair.
sense just because
It's Marlin.
in the last 5 years, no one's like, yeah, Marlin's going all the way. But like they are the most practical team where if they did make a run, you're like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
But I don't know
True.
if there's a true dark horse in the teams that we cover right now.
That's true. And
agree.
I mean, Mart dropped 84 points in the first round. They didn't even get to
They
finish
didn't
the
even
game.
finish
so.
the game. So
So we know Mart's going to do things. Okay, Bicel Baylor. Last part of the show. We have to do
Do
this really,
things.
really quick. The defense has to contain whichever quarterback winds up on the field at any given moment because if Caleb Williams gets hurt, Spencer Rattler will come back
Yeah.
into the game. And this is an Oklahoma defense that cannot tackle. So the Baylor offense has to be able to get through that. So I'm buying the defense. I'm selling the offense, though. I have some questions about can this offense exploit weaknesses like this?
I was also going to say, I don't know if Baylor's run game can perform well. They've struggled against TCU, so
Yeah.
I'm going to say they really got to,
I'd say 461 passing yards from a redshirt freshman quarterback is a struggle.
yeah.
Matt?
I am buying their defense, forcing turnovers. If they want to win this game, they have to force turnovers. They have to make Caleb Williams feel uncomfortable. That's when we've seen Oklahoma struggle so far.
Yeah.
I am selling maybe the distraction in the locker room this past week. McGuire leaves. That's a guy that a lot of these players rely on. It's their coach. And so that's a big thing to just kind of hurdle over in the span of a week.
And one of the strongest points of their defense is the outside linebackers, which was where McGuire coached. Obviously, the secondary needs to take a step up this week, so we'll see what happens tomorrow morning. At 11 a.m., we will be there, but before that, we have to go to sleep, y'all.
And
so
there's a big celebration before the game.
That is true. Big noon kickoff. Guys, Matt, appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow, but that is it for week 12 of the Texas high school football season.
Final one.
That does it for the last full Friday Night Lights of the season. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. We've got all your Texas high school football playoff coverage in the next 5 weeks right here on 6 News. For Matt Lively, Nikki Lattarulo, producer Samantha Cruz. We've got Rob Kelso, Michael Graham, and all of us working the late shift here at 6 News. Thank you so much for spending part of your week with us. We will see you next Friday night under the lights. Congrats on the win.